Okay, this is actually going to be a small little recording of the next A to Z League rework thing. I don't really have an exact name for it yet, but I'm just going to go through each of the champions and say what I have to say about them. The next one is Ahri. Now I'm going to be a bit more organized with this than I was with Aatrox. Aatrox was just was terrible, honestly. But I'm keeping it up just because of just proof of just like how bad it will be and how none of the ones I can make or any video ever I can make from here on out can be as bad as Aatrox. Now I'm gonna go with a little bit more organized, such as like I kind of want to touch up on this, but like honestly, most of the time it's really right. Like damage is right, toughness is completely fine. She does have that one crowd control ability, and it's strong enough to make her two. Her mobility is very high. Her utility is nothing. I would agree with all of these things, honestly. I wish that this was a bit more like right here, because of whatever the heck it's called. Because of like what my rework is. I wish that she was slightly more auto attack instead of just being a full ability person only. But like I'll get into that because of what I have to, because of like the changes. Now her lore, I'm only gonna touch up a bit. I'm not entirely sure what it is anymore. Initially connected to the lane power vegetarians can reshape magic into orbs of raw energy. She reveals in toying with her prey by manipulating their emotions by devouring their life essence. Despite her predatory nature, Ahri retains a sense of empathy as she receives flashes of memories from each soul she consumes. Okay. Well, like I know that the old lore used to be that she was like an actual fox, and that she like consumed the life essence of a dying soldier, and then because of that she liked it and she continued to do it over and over again. But then as time went on, she gained empathy because of like this same reason. I think that's even close to 56. Sorry about that. My goodness. Terrible timing, buddy. Terrible timing. Yeah, not even halfway, buddy. But ever since the Vestayan came into play, which is Rakan and Zaya, her lore has been changed to that, I guess. I know that Rengar also became one, and Nami too, of Vestayan, which is just like half animal, half human. But honestly, I like the lore. I like the old lore a little less, honestly. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about this. I find all of these right, but I wish this was a bit more auto attack, which is just how mine's gonna work out in the end. Now that I like her lore and overall, the nine-tailed fox. Okay, her passive, I really have nothing to change her. Essence Theft gains a charge of essence. That theft whenever a spell hits an enemy. Max 3 charges per spell. Upon reaching 9 charges, Ahri's next spell heals her whenever it hits an enemy. Yeah, I don't fully know what the scaling is with it. And by that, I mean, like, does it heal just like a set percentage of her max HP or a percentage of the damage she does with this specific ability? I'm not entirely sure, but either way, I honestly could care less. It's really something more of just to stay in lane and, like, randomly is useful whenever you're actually in a fight. Like you get the healing and there it's there, but like no one really notices it. You just kind of get it. It can cause counterplay options, such as like if you're about to die from Ignite or something, and you throw your Q over a wall and you hit Raptors, and that gives you 3 stacks and heals you. Bam, that's something useful. But then Orb of Deception. Ahri sends out a pulse back Ahri sends out and pulls back her orb, dealing magic damage on the way out and true damage on the way back. Ahri gains movement speed that decays while her orb is traveling. This is another ability that I have very little to, like, nothing actually to change. Ahri in general, I don't have all that much to change. I like her kit for the most part. She is one of my more favorite champions, but I don't really play her all that often because she isn't really that good currently. But, I like the ability because it helps her deal with tanks with the true damage, plus it also hurts squishies. How she can, like, if you get someone right at the edge of the queue, it does a ridiculous amount of damage at once. Like, it procs both the procs of forward and backwards at the same time, so it really just knocks you out. I think it's a bit strong against, like, minions and stuff when she can just, like, throw it out the back wave, which I know, like, a lot of mages can do. So, in that sense, it's fine, but, like, she can do it a wee bit sooner than others. Which, honestly, I guess in general it's fine because she doesn't have as much... I don't know, she's very flexible when it comes to how she can be played. So, if you're behind in farm or you need a lot of wave clear, like, she can actually be a pretty good pick for that. And this ability definitely is, like, the only wave clear she really has. Her other abilities are meh when it comes to minions. So, yeah, I'll accept the fact that it does... Like, that it just does so much damage to minions early on. I don't think it has bonus damage to minions. I'm not 100% sure about that, but even if it doesn't, still, it's pretty fine. Then Foxfire. Our releases 3 Foxfires that lock onto and attack nearby enemies. I wish that this did escalating damage. I know that they can all hit separate things. And I wish that if one of your abilities, like, hit an enemy champion, no matter what the range is, all 3 of them would go to that champion or something like along those lines. Or, like, one of them would. So that, like, you can use your W, but then they're, like, outside of the range when you thought they would be. So then you throw your Q out because your E's on cooldown, and then it lands, and then it comes back and lands again, and each one of those activates a proc. And that would cause it to shoot out once and then twice, and then, bam, they took a little bit more damage than they should have. I just don't like the fact that there's a 1 there, so I'm sorry. But that's really the only thing I would do with this ability. I personally max it second. I max Q first, obviously, and then W, just for damage. But I think E might be more efficient, just because, like, your W is a pretty useless ability in general. It's not really that reliable. Sometimes all 3 of them, or most of the time, all 3 of them will go to, like, the same target, but it doesn't do that much damage, and they can go to minions and other targets, so it's not the best ability. Her E is Charm, which is arguably the best CC in the entire game. Ahri blows a kiss that damages and charms an enemy it encounters. Why not just say an enemy it hits? Causing them to walk harmlessly towards her. It's literally a taunt, but doesn't proc auto attacks. Like, they just don't hit you. They just walk towards you and say, "Oh, I love you." She was originally the only champion with it, but then Rakan and Evelyn happened, so now 3 champions have it. But, this is where the big changes start to happen, but it also involves her ult, so I'll read that one first. Spirit Rush, Ahri dashes forward and fires Essence Bolts, damaging 3 nearby enemies. Prioritizes champions. Spirit Rush can be cast up to 3 times before going on cooldown. 1, I think this should prioritize champions too. And then... See, this is where all the big changes happen, because I want her E to become Spirit Rush. And this is where, like, she'll become slightly more auto attack oriented. is her E will be a dash, which will be about the same distance as one of these. So that. It'll be that distance. But it'll only be one. It won't stack up to 3 times. But after that happens, her next auto attack, she will get like an empowered ability power auto attack, and then she'll just throw that and it'll hit someone, and then bam, she gets some damage off. I want that because I think her charm could be so much more and should be so much less at the same time. Like, I think it's a pretty easy ability to land, but the fact that it can only hit one person is what really downsizes it. But at the same time, I don't like the fact that it isn't an alt, which is the same thing that I don't really like with Evelyn, especially the way Evelyn's works. I really hate Evelyn's. I like Rakan's, but Evelyn's is just really stupid. But the only, like, downsides of the ability currently is that, like, 1, it's a skill slot so you can miss, and 2, it's it can only hit 1 target. Now, what I'm about to say, it can let it hit multiple targets, but that really depends. And it makes it adds a lot of, I'm going to say, counterplay options above all else, because, like, you can do so much more. So basically, I want to make her alt, her R, charm, and her E, spirit rush. Her E will, as I said, just be a dash, and then she'll throw an auto attack, and then it will do ability power and auto attack damage at the same time. She could do this against towers because it will technically be considered an auto. And that'll really be it. That'll also prevent her from doing her insane movement alt. Like, I've escaped purely with her alt before, so, like, I'm not saying I've never done it, but God, is it annoying when she literally has 4 flashes. Like, it's about the same distance as Flash, so she literally has 4 flashes if she takes Flash as her summoner spell. So, what her new alt would be, it would still keep the name Charm. But what it would be is after she does this, she'd be kind of like Heimerdinger when you activate his alt, where her next ability will be a charm, basically. So if she uses her Q, then it will send out, and it will charm once on the way forward and once on the way back. If it hits the same target, then it will simply refresh the time. Now, this will be the second to longest like time of the charm. The charm will be different on duration for each individual ability of the QW and E. On her Q, it'll just be like the second to most time because it can hit multiple targets. Now, it can only charm 1 minion and 1 champion on the way back and forward. So if you hit a minion like here, it'll be charmed, but then all the minions after will just take damage. If then you hit her, then she'll be charmed, but then you hit someone right behind her, they'll only take damage. But then on the way back, they'll be charmed, and she'll only take damage, and then this minion will be charmed, and then all the minions from there will only take damage. So, obviously, like, yeah, it can be pretty useful because you can charge 2 champions at the same time, but, well, like, backwards and forwards. But, like, you won't double the time. Like, as I said, like, if you hit the double proc, it does a lot of damage, but it won't, hitting the double proc won't do that. It'll just refresh the time. So, in essence, you don't want to hit the double proc. Her W will have the longest time if it stays the way that it is. Because of, like, how they move, they could hit minions, they could go to 3 separate people. But at the same, if they hit, like, all the same target, it just refreshes the time. So, if the Ahri's really good and, like, knows to back away and then move forward to, like, refresh it when it actually needs refresh, then goodness, you're in a pickle. Actually, no, I lied. Actually, that was a complete lie. The W can only charm 1 person. Like, you can only be charmed a singular time, kind of like how the Q can only charm you 1 time, or, like, on the way forward and back. But this is, like, just 1 rotation, so it will only It can only charm you one time. Each individual hit afterward will only do damage. But that's only if her W stays the same way. If her W does not stay the same way and it does what I want it to do, which is like prioritize champions, and if you hit someone with an ability, then the W will just launch towards them, then I would say that it would we'd have to lower the cooldown or lower the charm duration to around the same time as like the Q. But then the E, that would be the shortest, yeah, the shortest, because it is a guaranteed charm. The other two are like half skill. Well, Q is a full skill shot. The W is like a half skill shot. As it is right now. So like they can have slightly longer time, but her E will be the dash. So she'll dash forward and then throw out an auto attack, and whatever that next auto attack hits will cause them to be charmed. Now, we could potentially also make it like she E's through something and that is charmed, and then whatever she auto attacks is charmed. Which then we might be able, which we'd still keep it as a slow duration of being charmed, but nonetheless, like that would be the only way of adding another charm to that. But the reason I want to keep like her E being a dash instead of just empowering the next auto attack is so she can do the thing with her Q where she like throws it forward, dashes over here, and then it comes back and hits another person. Like that's something that you'll see people do with their ults a lot. It's a really good utility thing. Plus the movement speed that her Q gives allows her to change the location of it. And like if she's just dashing more with her Q, then it'll work well. And the dash could potentially go farther distances based off of her movement speed. So if she throws her Q, then hits her E, then she could travel a farther distance. That could be a good add-on. So yeah, and like if you just auto attack them, then they'd be charmed. So because it'd be basically a point and click charm, which yes, I know I hate point and click CC more than anything else in this game. I really do. I hate it with a burning passion. I still think that could be something really useful, and that's why also I'd only keep it at a really low, like a second to less than a second of a cooldown. And that's really all I'd have to say with her E. And her ult, I already said, it's just like it would just empower her next ability into a charm, and it would probably have some sort of like visual effect on her. Maybe make like a pink dust around her so that people can tell, oh, she's gonna charm. Then her skins are Dynasty. I don't like. Midnight. I do like. Foxfire, which is literally based off of the internet browser of Firefox. I sort of like these three are really similar, honestly. Well, not like that insanely similar, but enough where I don't like how similar they are. Popstar Ahri I think is fine, but meh. Challenger Ahri I really do like the whole aesthetic behind it, and it does look really cool. Academy Ahri I don't like it. I'm definitely never gonna buy it, but I think that it is a necessary skin for Ahri, just because of this defines it perfectly. I love Arcade Ahri. I love how like her tail changes colors and all that. It is an incredible 10 out of 10 skin. Star Guardian Ahri I do like. It's I don't really have anything to say about it. I guess it's just a good skin. It is. These three are the only ones that I don't really like that much. I think I kind of like Firefox the most out of these three, but Midnight I wouldn't really ever get. Neither would I get Dynasty. Like Dynasty just seems pretty bad. It's not good at all. Like if you change the Dynasty into like a Warring Kingdoms, then yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But no, it's not. So no. And like the Midnight skin is just another like okay. Whoop-de-doo. This just, honestly, this right here just makes me think of the stinking Rasengan from Naruto. So, and I think with this specific one, the Foxfire one, her Q should turn red. Well, I guess I don't really know. Maybe if it goes blue out and then comes back red, then I'll be fine. I'll be a lot happier with that skin. But I don't really have any direct things to say about what skins that I would like to see for her, honestly. Like Aatrox, I had a few skins, but for Ahri, I really don't have anything. Like maybe Hextech or yeah, I don't really have anything for her. Yeah, that's the one thing I'm faltering with when it comes to her specifically is her skins. But that'll be the end of this. Her abilities, just make everything a charm, turn this into a dash, just swap these around, and then everything else basically stays the same. W can have a few changes, but not 100% necessary, but I would like to see it. But then the charm distance or duration would have to be smaller. I would prefer it if she was a little bit more auto attack, like with her E, not fully, just move this over a little bit. I think her difficulty is completely fine, and I think this represents her perfectly. Same with the damage type is magic. I do like her new lore. I wish that they'd advance on it a little bit more. I know I don't know it fully, so I guess I can't say that I wish they'd advance on it a little bit more, but what do you do? So that will be Ahri, the second of 140 something, I think it is, champions in League of Legends that I have just small notes of what I wish or could potentially happen with them that I think might not be, that can be balanced, cannot be. I'm not an expert with this. I'm just kind of doing it because it's what I like to do. And yeah, that's my REA to Z. This one was a bit more organized from the last one, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and please subscribe and leave comments. I'd love to see any feedback that you have on the skin. If you know any Riot people, then tell them that I am looking, well, not really looking for a job. I would love to talk with them and develop some, no, not really develop things, come up with ideas for them, basically. And that would be all. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.